Against cloaks. Well, they know the counter pick to beat me. Um, no, I'm joking. We got this. Wonder where the gate goes for the cloaks. Wonder if we want to put it there just right away. Probably there is fine. Probably there is pretty good. Um, and just punch them probably. We don't really have another option. We could put a weapon on something. Maybe we put a weapon on the archer. I mean, the one on the carrier would make a bit more sense. This is just a suicide carrier, but like, what can you do? I mean, one turn that Machinist would be pretty insane. So might as well like set ourselves up so that if we're lucky, it's crazy. And we were lucky. Do we want to get more lucky? And press move on, force them to come to us a little bit. And we'll take that. I mean, that's pretty bad actually, but we'll still take it. Yeah, we aren't given too much of a choice in the matter. Um, Interestingly, I could just sort of discard some stuff at the beginning to get like a warrior in my pile. I don't normally do that, but I might as well try it. It would feel bad if I had blood summon next, and so I was kind of punished for discarding that warrior. That's why I normally save warriors, but I feel like there's a lot I don't understand about Fallen Kingdom. And yeah, drawing Dragos. I mean, that's exactly what we wanted. Rewarded for that. We'll probably just keep Dragos until we can get him out. I wonder if we need to get an aggro gate this game. Uh, we don't really have a great setup right now. Like, if we really start to overrun the board, Rhett can move up. Right now, I don't know. Though, like, honestly, this is totally feasible. Um, if not a little bit silly, but like, it may be feasible. And I mean, it could be Dragos over there. Dragos gets himself killed real quick, but eh. Wow, skill issue. Yeah, that the push doesn't feel like a good play. It feels like we'll get overrun pretty quick, and I don't like that we can only send undead units down that line, but like, hey, then again, it does feel a little bit nice. I don't know where the gate wants to go. Gate could go here to like just block off this from being like a threat. I mean, do we want to try? Do we want to try this? It's a little bit sketchy, and I don't really know if this would work at all. And it's punished by a machinist, but the part of me that wants to have fun kind of wants to try it. Um, yeah, let's do it. Do we raise any dead this turn? I think probably. I guess we can just do an archer since like it's not a great spot to raise a warrior. This is pretty greedy, but like, heck, let's go for it. Why not? It feels like this is actually like kind of a tough matchup, so I'm happy to. Okay, these two archers like aren't actually helpful, but we can sort of pretend like they will be, or something. Dragos, we don't need a life drain. And we'll just soul shift in, kill something. Maybe we save. Do we save the warrior in hopes that we draw a pyre or that a blood summon? I think we might. Going in at one magic feels a little bit bad, but I think we do it for now. Uh, yeah. Okay, that's terrible. I mean, the other getting all the gates this early isn't bad, actually. And that forward gate, I mean, I don't hate it where Dragos is. Hopefully Rhett doesn't die. I think we're just gonna have to play a Pyre next turn. Um, and it'll probably only get us like 3, maybe 4 if we're lucky. That's okay. Yeah, it's hard to like. It feels like I sort of needed to discard that warrior, but like, I got so many units, and I got blood summon coming. It's like maybe a little bit too patient. It also feels bad to like discard the purge, but we really aren't going to be able to use purge very well, especially if like we're trying to. It's hard to. Maybe that's one of the hardest issues in this deck is like whether we're holding purge or blood summon. It's kind of hard to decide. Because like purge is for when we already are kind of established on the board, and blood summon is to help us establish on the board. So if we aren't established on the board, it feels bad to discard purge, but kind of like we need to. Like maybe that was a discard purge turn actually. Now that I think about it, because this blows. Not being able to like put a unit there, like that blows. um, that's not what we want. Like we can only summon one unit through Raise the Dead. It looks like we're getting lucky, and we're gonna get to keep another one of our units. I mean, that's good. Oh, that is just getting lucky. Um, yeah, I guess we can raise a warrior here. I don't think purge would actually help. We might as well just kill the things, right? I wish I had like drawn anything else. Yeah, I don't really like this last gate. I mean, heck, we could purge and like place a gate there. This the strategy becomes like utterly incoherent at that point. I really don't need another gate here. Like I can occupy this at some point, right? I think this gate's going in the discard pile. Yeah, let's hit it. No purge or anything. We're not playing around Out of Shadows like in the least, but we're just hoping they don't have it. Um, okay, that sucks. Do we life drain on this mechanist, or do we attack this mechanist instead? I think we might, just because like we really kind of need a kill, and it would suck to miss here. Can't really afford to life drain. Yeah, okay, glad I did that. Um, and now we got a shot at this kill as well. It's also kind of swingy. We're able to pull it off. Nope. We can go to 2, so I am going to keep holding the warrior, though. Wow, we didn't kill anything, but we're only... I mean, if they can kill 2 things, I don't know. Warriors are sort of the best bang for my buck in this deck. I guess carriers might be the best bang for my buck as the unit you always want to play. Like, now that we have Dragos out, I'm pretty happy just playing the rest of my commons for the game, but maybe I need to discard a bit more for tempo. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, I can discard a Luck Ball, and it seems like we're falling behind on board a fair bit though. Skill issue, etc. Bandit's getting some free magic. That's I've honestly never seen that, like a bandit like just getting a heist for the sake of the magic and nothing else. That's very funny. Because you're spending moto boots to magic to do that. Like, but now you have a bandit with moto boots in reserve, but like, is that even useful? Um, and used a boot to do it. I mean, like, I'm fascinated. I love every time I see a play that I'm not used to. Uh, just to be like, heck, maybe. Oh, you got two. I love this. Like, because you just never see this. You usually only see it as like I'm out there and I need to get out, or like I'm already there because I was like doing Out of Shadows on you and I need to get out. And look, they're avoiding killing any of my units this turn. Maybe that's the plan. All right, that's one kill, but it's still like that was abysmal pyre value. Seems solid. I'm a fan. I don't even know how this triggers. Is it at the end of your turn? So it's after the draw phase. Yeah, like value, etc. I'm very so we're just gonna have to watch this guy to see if they're able to use. Okay, we need another carrier to see if they're able to use that moto boots to any effect. Um, we just need another carrier. Like, oh my goodness. Um, Decent Vox copy target. Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, I just need another carrier. Please, just give me another carrier. Okay. Oh, what the heck? What is this pile? I should have discarded a warrior that turn. Um, okay. I guess we're just gonna kill this gunner for fun. Um, I want a life drain, but do I dare life drain and keep Brett like fully exposed at 5 magic to like anything that wants to come down this lane? Um, it seems a little bit sketchy. Yeah, I feel like I should have discarded a warrior like forever ago, but now I'm gonna discard it and get blood summoned. I think I might just go a little bit risky and go for the life drain. Um, and hope we're chilling. It's because it's so good here to just guarantee this kill. Very happy with that. Um, Finally got some magic. So I'm gonna keep holding this warrior. Even though we just talked about how I really want to discard it so I have one in my pile. But we're at 4 now, so we're chilling, right? Yeah, big chilling. We drew a carrier! Yeah! Alright, our deck now is the deck. We have our threat. It only took 16 cards. 15 cards. Yeah, I mean that means the bottom half of our deck is gonna be loaded though, right? So I'll take it. Been holding this Purge for so long too. Even though, but Purge is probably the hardest card for me to use in this deck because it's just very often it feels like maybe it just would have been better if I just discarded this like 4 turns ago, so just to like help cycle to better things faster. Like here I am complaining about this carrier being so late, but it's like I mean it would have been like a turn ago if I had discarded Purge like turn 1 or whenever I drew it. Yeah, not gonna no easy Out of Shadows play on Dragos. We are just like literally just like hoping and praying that they don't have it. Like we are not We're not playing around out of Shadows in the least. They've discarded three cards. We've discarded five. That's crazy that they've only discarded three at this point. They're playing a very patient game. I mean, that's fair. I guess so are we. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting matchup. One I want to get better at. All right, let's see it coming down. All right, here they come. Nice. Seeing some sexy looking purge plays. Ooh. You might not be respecting Rat so much right now. You might not be respecting Rat at all. I mean, getting in our face to like threaten something is good, but might be a little bit dead. I was gonna purge something over there, but like honestly, we can probably just. Well, I could purge a. Okay, so we can get 3 direct on Ret. And then number of units dying is 1. We can purge any number of other things. We raise the dead 1 thing here. We purge 1 thing, and then we have 2 more things that we can drop. And then we gotta move, so we could even. Yeah, so we can purge that. That's 1 thing. We can purge something here. That's 2 things. We could purge a 3rd thing after moving over here. That's 3, and we could also purge this warrior. So that's 4. So if we did all of that, we could get 3 direct damage on blocks. Plus this guy would be at 7, and then we'd have an 11 over here. That'd be pretty sweet. So actually, I think if we just did 2 direct damage on blocks, well, I think yeah, no, actually that would just be. We could then actually kill something over here, but that'd still not actually be anything crazy. That's still probably. It's probably worth it to just do this. Oh, we don't have a warrior in the pile. Oh, okay. That changes things. Well, I suck. I should have discarded it. Gosh darn it. That actually changes that reduces my damage output by a fair bit. Okay. Well, we can still have like a archer soul shift in or something. Um um yeah, well, we can only have so many things. So we're not actually going to be able to kill that machinist. Things aren't totally working out. Things aren't looking amazing. If we could purge on our own cultist, we could then do a second purge on a machinist or something. We could just get our juicy infect going. So we could just not use a purge and instead use a purge on a machinist. Because yeah, we can't really kill this machinist. We want to kill as many things as possible right now. So like, if the carry just goes over there and kills the machinist, that'll be two things dead. But if the carrier, yeah, no, if it purges, it's nothing crazy though. So, um, we probably just want to purge on the Magus, even though that would be a kill. Like that would actually let us kill something. Um, I think we're thinking that like we're not actually able to um get the kills that we want this turn. And I also feel like I need to keep Ret alive. Let me see how much better this would be if I purged more things. So now we're at 10 dice. If I purge this archer, we would be at 7 and 5, which would be 12. Um, but we're already gonna get that with one kill here, and keeping this archer here just lets me like not die, since it looks like we're not actually gonna be able to kill them this turn. And I'm a fan of not dying. Like this is a much better play around Out of Shadows than something else. Yep, and we got that carrier in the pile. So this looks pretty good. If you think this is weak at all to Out of Shadows, let me know. Like what do you think it would take to get behind these lines? What cards would you need? This seems like it'd be a fair bit to me. Amazing that we didn't manage to kill Vlox this turn, mostly because we didn't have another warrior in the pile. Wow. Okay, we really are hoping to draw Blood Summon next turn. And we did not. That's F. Yeah, and we purged this random warrior over here for 2 more dice on Vlox, which I think I'll stand behind. Um, I think the numbers like just worked out that was worth it. Like if the warrior had gone like one more boost above it, so like there was one wasted boost, I would say no, but I think we set things up in such a way that seemed good. Yeah, I'll have to ask them about that play. Like, were they afraid of my threats? Were they were they just trying to call it and thinking I wasn't gonna have it? Because you're literally moving Vox adjacent to a warrior that last turn. And I don't think they had planned to kill it really. And so yeah, I guess maybe I mean maybe that was just saying. I mean, and this is something I struggle with. Just sometimes with Vox, you just got to move up and just call it and say you don't have the punish right now. I'm gonna beat you up. And sometimes you call it wrong. I guess I don't know. Not having even one magic this turn feels bad. It's something that maybe I should have like thought about. Man, it feels like yeah, I definitely I think that's probably the biggest thing that I feel like I wish I had done differently. It was just discard a warrior at some point. It just would have helped. There's so many times that I wanted to summon a warrior and couldn't on blood summon, and I just think it would have been better. Something we could have considered as well. Well, no, not really. Like we could have gotten a soul shift into here based on like killing something normally to get a magic. But then we're not really defending rat. Um, and any units they kill right now will be healing rat. Would have been nice to kill a few more of our things to get like some like insane fire value, but eh, we'll live. And we'll be able to recover. Man, I really wish like both my blood summons weren't like at the bottom of my deck right now. Um, like it'd be such a great time to have a blood summon. It'd be so perfect. I'd be so happy if there was a blood summon at all. It's perfect time for it. You gonna kill me? Okay, so let's think for ourselves here. Like if we had a Machinist plus a Motor Boots, which they don't, we could like move it to here, but then, yeah, I just don't see how you Out of Shadows in here. You need something like really clever, like copy a gunner, or yeah, copy a I don't even know. Like copy a machinist, send a gunner over here in the move phase. Gunner attacks this. Yeah, I don't see it. All right, they're going for it though. Let's see it. This is why I'm not good at cloaks. So let's see if they found the way in. Uh, Maybe they're just using it to like get over here and here or something. I'm really not seeing how you get to red, but prove me wrong. All right, and that was an actual attack phase. Attack phase attack. Okay, we're just getting in to kill that warrior. Seems good. Is Vlax not retreating? No way. No, you Sly. Yeah, so Vlax can run to the bandit at the very back. Yeah. And probably should. Probably should. Um, okay, yeah, that makes sense. A meaningful use of all that. Do we don't even have another carrier in here. Okay, well, we're gonna use Purge then. um, to give ourselves another carrier. Um, and we can raise whatever the heck we want. Though probably an archer, so we can purge on the dagger. Um, could have an archer there to then follow up and like kill the gunner or something. Um, do I want to purge over here? I could like purge onto this unit and then get over there and like follow up by occupying that spot. Yeah, that seems all right. Let's see it in action real quick though. So I don't really need that warrior. I mean, we got some good purge targets here. Seems like about as much as we can hope from a purge, and now we have to play this like dangerous game of like trying to hold our units that we think will be helpful. Um, Destroy, soul shift, destroy, move on, move phase, and we're basically chilling. And Rhett's totally safe here, right? There's absolutely nothing that would ever get to Rhett and threaten us, right? I wonder whether we go for dagger or for the gunner. Because if we go for dagger, that's one more magic, which could be huge. um, hmm. And yeah, we do have that other carrier now, and we have one more carrier in the draw pile. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to decide what exactly we discard. Yeah, so it feels like dagger is the threat that we want to stop from existing, but gunner we can kill and have more magic. But we're hoping to get blood summon value. I think let's go for dagger and discard one archer. I know it feels kind of bad. Well, skill issue. Our decision was irrelevant. Oh, we don't. Not actually how randomness works though. Yeah, we'll discard one archer and pray for the blood summon. Cause there it is. The problem is we're gonna get to a point in our deck where it's like it's not even like we're not even getting value out of the blood summon. This is good though. We will take this. Resources, we're about tied. Damage on blocks puts us in a lot better position. That if Fox was at full health, I'd say they're ahead right now. Fox at 4, we might be ahead. We'll just have to see. Yeah, maybe a tough turn. I mean, I wish this gunner was dead. That would make our lives easier, but it's also just like it's a low health unit. We can probably try to infect it at some point. Like we're chilling. Um, Sinsen coming out, that's really good for them. Um, because we have no way to use the magic we're gonna get from Sinsen. Our blood summons are like tempo blood summon is off the table. Value blood summon is off the table. Uh, really hope they've like discarded the admiral. Otherwise we're really screwed. Yeah, let's see it. What's that doing over there? You gonna get one attack on blocks? Out of shadows is gonna. That's not gonna work for out of shadows. Oh no, no, you're daggering in. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Hopefully we don't die. Yeah, no, that's dangerous AF. I mean, so we've sort of just been playing fast and loose around out of shadows, so it makes sense that eventually we're punished. You're not getting that much dice in, I don't think. No, you're getting backstab. Okay. That's real bad. You're getting backstab, you're getting 10 dice. That's insane. Wait, wasn't it 10 the other way? No, it's not 10 the other way, because you only have 2 more attacks. I see. Yeah, I just like don't see these things. And that could be game. I guess that was an 8 on 8 to get it. And that'll do it. I guess no, but Vox hasn't used Sly. No, Vox has used Sly. So I think you lose if Vox used Sly, right, to get in there. So I think you can lose if you miss that. Yeah, I mean, I like it, especially if you're feeling behind to go for the risky kill. GG. That's a lot of fun. I'm gonna send some quick send some messages. And see if they want to come and chat. Just give me a second to message them. I think they're gonna come on and chat in some form. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, so I guess I'll ask them, but yeah, it seems like that was just a throwaway. Like, well, I got to go for it. And I certainly respect that. All right. They said they're good with Discord call. Sounds good. Um, Make sure, let me know if any of the levels are an issue, if they're too loud or too quiet when they come on. Hey, how's it going? Let me
Hello.
know. Hey.
Sorry, my mic muted there. That was insane. That was an insane game.
That was yeah,
Oh my goodness.
that was very explosive on on both ends
Yeah.
there.
No, it absolutely like I and truthfully like it was a last ditch effort. Like if you look at just sheer like execution of the game, I would say like that was absolutely a you game. The like you're you absolutely did way more. Well, what turn was it? It was pulling up the replay here. That at that point where you just absolutely like I know you probably saw kind of like I was lining up for like a dagger shot, but like you very superbly were ready for it, way more so than I imagined. I was just expecting like you're gonna come at Vlox, but you probably won't take him out, and then I can launch some sort of backstab thing and then ignore your pyre. But no, that was insane. And then I that last ditch effort there, if that hadn't had succeeded, you would have absolutely smoked me.
Yeah, yeah, I was like looking at the end game here and I was like, I think if Blocks was at like I was just looking at the board state in that last turn before you took the turn and I was like, if
Mhm.
Blocks was at full health, I think I would say you're ahead. But Blocks being at 4 health, I think I'll say
Yeah.
I'm ahead. Like even just
Yep.
like tiny things like that sort of change the edge of a game.
Yep.
Uh
Yeah, no, it was as soon as I hit all three dice on Vlox on that last turn, I was like, oh, here we go.
you got a chance.
Here's the chance.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's a lot of there's a lot of skill there with just knowing like when it's time to go for the shot in the dark if I might be able
Hmm.
to win this game and when it's better to be patient and you'd have better odds otherwise.
For sure.
And yeah, I feel like a lot of that game I was playing fast and loose around Out of Shadows. Like I didn't feel like the
Hmm.
cards were coming in the right order for me. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like hope they don't have it. Except for that one turn where like you just moved up with blocks and I was like, okay, I'm playing
Yeah,
playing around Out
I
of
kind of
Shadows this
dangled
turn.
myself in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you were uh pretty just shooting at it with moving blocks up to a carry to a warrior that already has two boosts and
Hmm.
and adjacent to Red Talus's gate. Like Red Talus can really do
Hmm.
like the most to you right when you're on a gate, but you were just hoping it's not going to be enough damage to kill me,
Hmm.
or I wouldn't have the cards or something. Or like what was going through your thought process like making that play?
I'm absolutely just a whenever I feel super confident with a full health Vlox. Like I very much am like he's got a lot of health. Most of the time he can soak up like a big hit and like I more often than not, like especially in a deck like Fallen Kingdom, that like absolutely could take out a full health Phlox.
Yeah.
Like I, it really was just I was trying to bait you and encourage you to just like throw all your eggs in one basket for that like last ditch attack. And you did, but you executed it so superbly and safely with just sheer numbers that like shoot here. I mean, I guess
Yeah. I
I
th-
can't control what's visible, but like
I think it's
there's a point.
yeah,
What
it's
were you gonna
turn
say?
8. Uh
Turn eight.
Turn 8 that I'm looking at.
Let me
I
pull up turn
can
eight.
here I'll or wait, sorry, the or turn 8's what you did and turn 9 is my response. I'll play that on stream real quick. I'll play turn
Yeah, here
9.
I'll pull up your stream here. I had to have it closed because I didn't want to look at your hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like I line up there. And very obviously, yeah, the archer there is like a key. Like, nope,
Yeah.
you're not gonna sneak up there. And they're constantly like there was a point where over on to the right side, I think I had no, it was before this. There was a point earlier where I was thinking about using the gunner and that bandit that has the boots to just run all the way on the backside of Ret Talus and then sly with dagger. But then I realized I didn't have enough magic to put out all of
Oh,
those units, and it's like fuck. All right,
yeah. What would
you see it?
is there a turn in particular? No, you're gonna have
Here,
to. I'm really bad at clicks.
go to turn 6,
Okay.
I think.
So Bandit comes to Retalis with a here. What? Let me see what you actually. Oh, this is the turn where you did the crazy moto boots thing.
Yeah.
That's really funny. And so what you were thinking, if you just had Sly, you'd be able to get over to Rhett, or to talk me through that again.
Oh, no, 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 no. So, okay. So first things first, I guess it was beginning of turn 8 when I was first thinking about this. I
Yeah.
mean, well, that's not true. I was so that bandit over to the right that I didn't put the boots on.
Yeah.
I think, let's see, one, two, the moto boots, walk, walk, and then if I could line up the gunner, I could like shoot. No, there wasn't a good. Where was that shot? There was a point where I was thinking about taking that sort of a shot where like that, yeah, that bandit could run all the way around with the boots and with the gunner to get to Talus. But
Interesting.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
this here I was just going for like sending out my bandits. I wasn't killing your stuff well enough, and I didn't want to go for it with your pyre up. So I'm like, all right, well, I need some magic. I want to set up dagger,
Yeah.
and so just went for some big flashy heist maneuver there.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I regretted too with that action was bringing those bandits where I placed them. Like I think I should have brought the Moto Boots Bandit, I think a little closer to the left, and I could
Uh-huh.
have played with him a little bit more. I just wanted to keep him safe for copying purposes. Yeah, something along those lines that I was kind of thinking. But it required me to play a new gunner and play dagger, and I didn't have that much magic.
Yeah, gotcha. And another play we were chatting about with Jaxic on the stream, what was that the
Mhm.
bandit being sent back just for the magic. Like, I honestly can say, like, I've never seen someone just put a moto boots on a bandit just to go get a heist and run it back. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And so that was awesome. Like, you want to
Well,
like
oh,
talk about that a bit?
thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely so I've read and really like I don't know how to say his name R. DeBry's
Yeah.
guide on cloaks, and like I thought it was funny because reading a lot of his guide, it reminded me just like a lot of like just my instinctual feelings towards the deck of like, okay, I kind of don't really care that much about snipers. Bandits, I really just kind of soak up for or use for as like meat shields, and like a lot of the time you kind of want to get that like there's the reputation of the back row guild mechanist with the boots and the gun. I feel like that tends to be the thing, especially because boots on the Machinist, just whether you're hiding him or not, is a deadly combination. It's an absolute crucial combination in the deck. But I also think gang up very often tends to be an overlooked mechanic. And I also think that heist is something that like is very easy to forget. I think that
Mm-hmm.
bandits are very easy to like underestimate. They kind of feel like pawns in chess. Like you don't really think much of them until the last moment where you're like, "Oh shit, that's right."
Yeah.
Um but no, I mean like it's thieves were my favorite in first edition cloaks,
Uh-huh.
and I loved that they basically combined the uh, the Rust Side Bandits and the Thieves, but then took away Blindside and made it the Epic. I thought that was an interesting sort of or they basically beefed up Thieves, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I guess the only thing they took away is the stealing of magic, which I miss, but
I see.
that's all right.
I see. Oh, that would be mean. Yeah, no, I've never played first edition. I've never played first edition, so
Oh,
just
really?
yeah, yeah, and maybe so. So I've never had you on before. Maybe you could say a bit about like how you first got into Summoner Wars and what interests you about it and whatnot. I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. I was very much big into Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
And one of the things that was tough about Magic the Gathering for me was, I mean, for first things first, as a kid growing up playing Magic, I didn't keep up with standard. I was the prospect of like the standard format was actually new to me until like I started playing with like a group of friends. But I was very much playing with like the neighbor kids or my brother or my dad or and I I started to get a little turned off to the constant buying of like just to like
Yeah.
constantly have a viable deck. Yeah. I mean, we all know how how
Yeah.
Magic and Warhammer and all these hobbies can be.
Yeah.
Like come
Yeah.
on. And I remember my dad picking up first edition Summoner Wars and showing it to me because I really liked chess and I really liked Magic the Gathering. Um, and this always kind of felt like a fun combination of the two. And I don't know, there was something about it that immediately drew me to it. And I enjoy it's strange. I feel like a lot of people complain about the RNG elements of the dice. Uh, I kind of liken it to you play Super Smash Brothers.
I have never, but I've watched some of it. I've watched a fair
I
bit.
liken it to playing that game with items. It's
Mm-hmm.
it adds like a whole layer of like fun to it. The
Mm-hmm.
dice do, I mean.
Yeah.
And I think most of the time, you can argue that like, it's tough because like I played that really skillfully, but then all my dice rolls were bad. And it's true. But there's something fun about the fact that like at any point in the game, it can still be anyone's game. And like
Yeah.
I just I don't know. There's a bunch of those little things. I could go on a tangent, especially about first edition, but no, I've loved this game for a long time. That's for sure.
No, that's super interesting to hear. And so you got right into second edition when it first came out, or did you take a
Absolutely.
break?
Oh
Yeah.
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 I was ecstatic. Well, because first edition Summoner, especially with the online accessibility now, like that's amazing. I was always all my friends knew that like I was obsessed with Summoner Wars,
Yeah.
and I would make them play first edition with me,
Yeah.
with my physical copies,
Yeah.
and and no one wanted to play with me because I played the most games, so I beat everybody.
I can I can I
And
can
I don't
relate to
even think I
this.
was necessarily that good. Yeah, yeah. I
Yep.
think yeah
Yep.
the burden of the physical versions. But
Yeah. Yeah. That's when first edition was out. But then yes, second edition a bit easier to play for you just having the online option.
having the online option, like of course I'm I'm an addict to I gotta have my collection. Like
Yeah, of course.
gotta have the
Gotta be
cards, I
gotta be
gotta have
fully
everything, and
sleeved
I
and whatnot.
gotta be fully sleeved. I got all the burger token deck boxes.
Oh
Actually,
wow.
I've been starting to design little labels on the side
Oh wow.
just with all like little drawings. Yeah, no, it's very cool. It's not like in a meaningful capacity. It's like
No.
shitty like
Yeah, no,
colored
no, no.
pencil drawings, but like I think the idea could be fun for someone more artistically inclined
That's
to
funny.
execute.
Yeah, I just bought an insert for Summoner Wars off Etsy, but for like
For sure.
some of my other games like Spirit Island, I made my own insert out of like 2 millimeter like sort of like cardboard stock, and then I had like different
Sure.
dividers for all the cards, and I like drew little symbols for what they were.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That was just a fun
Yeah.
project.
Yep.
And definitely worth it like for because sometimes like okay if I'm spending like 8 hours making this insert is this like actually worth it, but for Spirit Island playing like the game takes like 3 4 hours and I've played it like at least 100 times, so like I can say it was worth
Not,
it.
I'm not familiar with Spirit Island.
Spirit
Can you give
Island,
me a
it's a
pitch it to me?
cooperative. I have it like sitting on my desk, so I can just read you out the back. It's a cooperative settler destruction strategy game.
Ooh.
It's sort of like flip the colonialism narrative in board games on its head. So colonizers are coming to the island, and you need to defend against them. You are like so there's Dahan native people on the island, but then the players are playing as spirits of the island. And
Sure.
it's a cooperative game, but it does a neat thing where all play is like simultaneous, and so like you're never really playing for each other, but you're still working together. It's cool. It's a fun one, but
Huh.
if you're into the cooperative genre,
I'm not again. I mean, games are games, Like
exactly,
who doesn't
yeah,
love games?
yeah,
I'm at I certainly should get myself into more cooperative games, that's for sure. I mean, I
yeah.
I feel like it's always I play a lot of board games, or lately I've been getting more into just tabletop games in general. Of you get a lot that are a lot like Ultimate Werewolf, Coup,
Uh-huh.
Love Letter, where there's like a lot of like lying and intrigue, and that that definitely sows the seeds for conflict of like uh causing arguments or causing like tension or irritation. And it's
Yeah.
like at that point it's like, well, come on, we're gotta play a game. Like I don't want to get myself all worked up and like, get overly competitive with
Yeah.
my friends.
Yeah.
But
I can
but
relate
yeah,
to
no,
that.
cooperative games, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at Gen Con recently and I played a game of Blood on the Clock Tower
Yeah.
for the first time ever. And I was just like, oh my God, like I am becoming this monster. Like I'm just like I feel like I'm being like so rude to people. I'm just being like, do not listen to them. They're the minion. Like
No.
don't listen to
Yep.
anything. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm being so, and like these are all people that like I've just barely met before, but like I kind of want to become
Yep.
friends with because I just met them, and I'm just like being this, just being so
Sure.
rude
You're
to
just
everyone.
being
It's just like
super aggressive.
I went
Yep.
home at like 3 a.m. that day being like, well, what am I? Yeah. But you know, I mean,
Yep.
all sorts of games are fun for their own reasons and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love games?
Do you have any like particular play style in Summoner Wars that you type yourself as, or like what decks like first stood out to you as, oh, these are the decks that I want to play, or do you like to play them all?
I definitely am trying to get myself to play more, get a little more out of my comfort zone. I so my preferred lineup of decks is at this point I would say cloaks, obsidian dwarves, fungal dwarves. I do like polar dwarves. They're actually, of the three dwarves, they're the ones I'm the worst with. And it's unfortunate because I really love the play style of logic decks,
Yeah.
of like the sequencing and like especially with the moving structures around. Um, I'm super excited for the Forged. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can only imagine.
Yeah.
And so I just I'd say liken myself to I definitely I definitely find myself in a lot of situations where I go for massive one turn
Yeah.
plays, like that, just like do an absolute like grandiose gestures. So like I like to like set up just a big play and then just execute it and then win. I like to just win very rapidly and quickly. So I mean, I would say in some ways, like I would say I'm very aggressive. I can sometimes spread myself too thin. I definitely play with my summoner very aggressively, but I think with Vlox, what I really like about cloaks especially is that like you can sort of be um, liberal with Vlox,
Uh-huh.
especially when you have Dagger on the table, because even if you're not going for a backstab, having two slies all over the place, or shoot, I've had a turn. Shoot, maybe I can find it, but it'd take too long.
Yeah.
I've had a game where I've gotten Vlox two turns in a row from my back row to your back row,
Wow.
teleport back to my back row, and then next turn I do it again. With combined with like Moto Boots, Guild Gunner, Sly from Shadows, like all of these like teleporting around. Like I love just being able to boing around the battlefield.
Yeah, that's really
But no,
fun.
I knew I would really like cloaks because cloaks were my absolute favorite in first edition. Um, and one of the factions that it's gonna be a while that I'm sure you're familiar with, if nothing else that you've seen like phrasing around, is the filth.
I've heard a few
Ooh,
things.
I want the filth.
Yeah.
Okay. The filth, here's the issue with
Yeah.
the I love the first edition filth. They're my probably my second favorite faction. And I know that the things that I love about the filth are not compatible for second edition. Like I know there's a lot of like differences with the design philosophy towards second edition of
Uh-huh.
like trying to keep everything simple, keeping things cohesive. And both I'm gonna switch to a different example of the Swamp Orcs.
Yeah.
The Swamp Orcs, great deck, um, very different than it was in first edition. Um, it because with I don't know if you're familiar, first edition Swamp Orcs had like an extra stack of 15 cards that were just vine walls.
Yeah.
Because in first edition, you didn't have gates, you had walls. And vine walls are very different than the Vine Gate event in second edition, like completely different.
Hmm.
Vine walls you can walk through, so they're more or less like a space. It's like a bundle of vines just on a space. And if you walk through it, you roll a dice, and if you roll, I think it was like a 5 or a 6, you take damage and don't move. So it can like trap you.
Hmm.
And part of the strategy of the Swamp Orcs was just filling the board with vine walls because all of your units, most of your units had like the ability to walk through vine walls effortlessly.
Uh-huh.
So it would just tangle up your opponents, or you could like hide, like back up, if you had a vine wall in front of you. I think there were some units that could shoot through vine walls, or they could like hide in the vines and like pop out.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was a lot of fun play styles with that. But you know, Colby definitely I think didn't want to have a stack of
Yeah.
15 cards.
Yeah.
Um, and so they definitely approached Swamp Orcs completely differently.
Yeah.
So that makes me nervous for the Filth because they also had mechanics that were very dissonant and different and distinct that I don't think would super fit exactly the same in second edition.
I'm curious to hear a little bit about that, or like what yeah, what were the different mechanics that the Filth had?
First edition Filths, so they had a lot of um, so more or less with your deck composition, you had was 16, 18 commons and 3 champions. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all familiar with this format.
Yeah.
With the Filth, their deck had 1 champion, and then I think 8 commons, maybe 10 commons. And then the rest of those missing cards were a third creature type called mutations. Mutations could only be played on existing units that you had, and it changed the unit into a new creature.
Interesting.
So you had like cultists that would mutate and turn into like, a bestial aberration, or like it had like a tentacle arm and could
Yeah.
reach far ahead. And the summoner was all about being able to like cycle or search through your deck or your discard pile even
Yeah.
for those mutations so that you could always like have the right one. Because all 8 of those mutations were different mutation units. So it was 8 distinct possible creatures that you could mutate, um, which is just a layer of complexity that I think is a little too
Yeah.
different.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I wonder if there'd be a way, like, I'm trying to think about that for second edition. Like, I guess you could just have like you could dumb it down to just like your events could be mutations onto like any units or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Maybe one of the 4 commons just is like it's a mutant is the common, and then
Uh-huh.
you instead of playing it, you like I could see a lot of inspiration being drawn from fungal dwarves, of like the whole prospect of like turning your spore carriers into fungal beasts,
Yeah.
but instead of stacking the cards, you're transforming it.
Yeah.
um I like I could see some stuff there. I definitely think like the prospect of upgrades, kind of like with the sand goblins or the cloaks, like things like that. There's ways to, like you said, like using events to sort of change or mutate the cultists or units that you have in play. But I'm curious. I'm sure second edition Filth will be great. and I'm sure it will be very different.
Yeah.
But I'll still play it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. And I promise we can move on, but then I'm curious about the Swamp Orcs, like, because I've heard like different takes, like a lot of first edition players being like, yeah, they're good, but they're totally different. Like, do you feel like there's any like
Yeah.
core design like themes from like the first edition that are still captured about the second edition, or would you argue like no, they're pretty much just like an entirely different faction?
Honestly, I think that like they had obviously like a lot of the same themes of like the style and the aesthetic and like kind of what you were visualizing with like the mechanics. Like I could imagine like I never played the second summoner of the first edition Swamp Orcs because I don't know if you're familiar, but in first edition every faction had
Yeah,
a
yeah,
second, technically a third, but like there were multiple summoners of the same factions.
yeah,
And with the Swamp Orcs, I would say first edition Muglug and second edition Muglug, their decks are very different. I think second edition Swamp Orcs could be very similar to the second summoner of the first, but like I could see it. It feels like they grew up and ate food at the same dinner table, but they definitely I think are very different decks.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. That's so yeah, I feel like we could keep talking for hours, but
You we could, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And maybe we should. I mean, are you interested in playing another game still, or how you feeling?
Yeah, I'd be up for another game. Yeah, we were talking the other day about obsidian dwarves
Oh
and
yeah.
calculating
Yeah.
probabilities. So yeah, I definitely wanna put my money where my mouth is and show off my obsidian dwarves if I can.
All right, let's do it. Well,
Because I feel like